We moved here in 2012. We put our house on the market in Newtown, Connecticut, and met a lovely couple with a beautiful little girl, sparkling little eyes, named Avielle. And they fell in love with our big, beautiful Victorian house. And as my daughter was walking through the house with her, she was just ecstatic that she would be inheriting this room, and loved our attic, which she thought was magical and had all these secret places that she could hide in. So when we packed up and left, we were delighted that this beautiful couple had bought our house, and that our house would be in good hands. On the morning of December 14th, 2012, I was at the gym here in Seattle, and as I walked by the big TV screen, I looked up and noticed it said a shooting had occurred. And so I stopped to see, and I see it says a shooting at a school in Sandy Hook. And I thought, well, it has to be Sandy Hook, New Jersey, because it's certainly not Sandy Hook, Connecticut, not our wonderful little bucolic, idyllic little town. That couldn't possibly happen there. But as I stayed and looked, still the blurred aerial view started coming more clearly into focus. And I noticed the all too familiar entranceway, which came into focus, and the doorway and the shattered glass of the first grade classroom, which had been my daughter's classroom, and the place where I used to pick up my children right there every morning after school. It's now strewn with shattered glass and police tape and people running and screaming. But my phone began to ring, and I looked down onto my cell phone and saw that it was my next door neighbor was calling from Newtown. I picked up the phone and I said, "Please tell me that Avielle is safe." Avielle was a little sixth grader that day, and she, along with her 19 other classmates, were killed that morning in Sandy Hook, along with the 6 very brave, heroic educators who came out into the hallway and rushed towards the gunmen, giving up their lives, and teachers' aides who shielded their children, attempting to save them from being killed. So, of course, there had been other mass shootings, but it was unconscionable that such an event would happen in our little idyllic town. And that day, it was the realization that gun violence could happen absolutely everywhere. Even in this small little, tiny little hamlet in Connecticut. So that whole sense of freedom and safety and just unfettered joy was just punctured that day, and the town has really never been the same since. I returned to Newtown for the first time this June, after 5 years. As I drove up the way, there's this beautiful, iconic, majestic flag in the middle of the town, and I made my way driving up, and I just began to weep uncontrollably. Not so much for the people that I knew who had lost their children and relatives, but also for the undisputable sense of loss that was still hanging in the air, that was just intangible still. You could feel it. It's really just a damaged town now, and trying to make their way, even 5 years after. People are struggling to heal. There's surviving children, teachers, first responders, siblings, parents, friends, all trying to negotiate a way forward with their grief and trauma. Parents trying to find a balance between not wanting to dwell on the past while vowing to never forget. The hardest thing a parent said to me that day when I was meeting with some friends was, he said, "I'm always 1 minute farther away from my life with Daniel." And that just breaks my heart. A few weeks before the shooting, Aviel had sent Anna a picture of her sitting at her old desk because she wanted to show Anna how little she had changed her room, and she was so proud of having inherited this beautiful room. And I still have that picture sitting on my shelf with her face beaming towards the camera. And hardly a day goes by, really, that I don't think about her. And many questions and many what-ifs. My daughter will graduate from high school this spring. She will get to go on and continue her dreams. I think of that image of Aviel sitting on her desk, at her desk, beaming with such promise and the world ahead of her. But she won't be able to attend her graduation that day. There will be 20 empty seats at graduation along with her classmates. 20 lives whose dreams and promise went unrealized. Just finish with this little haiku that Aviel's father writes every week. "I can imagine all the wonders and magic you would have created." Thank you.